What's going on, guys? And of course, we got to talk about the new signing by the Indiana Pacers, Mr. Monte Morris. Monte Morris. I don't know why I just butchered that. I apologize to Mr. Morris. The Pacers get themselves a nice little addition to the team, which with Tyrese Haliburton being out, he's kind of a solid player for them to have. Now, the Indiana Pacers, as of right now, their team looks like this. We're assuming either Isaiah Jackson, Tony Bradley, or Jay Huff will be the starting center. And they also have James Wiseman as the fourth guy. Pascal Siakam at power forward, Aaron Nesmith, Bennedict Mathurin, and Andrew Nembhard to make up the starting lineup with TJ McConnell, Ben Shepherd, Obi Toppin, and Jarris Walker, Johnny Burfee, Monte Morris, Cam Jones, all making up the rest of the roster, and Tyrese Haliburton being out for the season with a torn Achilles. Ray J. Dennis, Talon Peter, and Quentin Jackson are on two ways. And this is a team that I believe is looking to have more than just a gap year. They want to stay competitive and be able to build upon whatever happens in this 2026 season. So the report is that free agent guard Monte Morris has agreed to a one-year deal with the Indiana Pacers. He enters his ninth NBA season. Morris provides backcourt depth to the Pacers, Shams Charania of ESPN says. Prior to the signing, Indiana had 13 players on guaranteed contracts and 2 players, James Wiseman and Tony Bradley, on partial/non-guaranteed contracts. Before this move, I think a lot of people, if you looked at the Pacers team, they didn't have a third point guard. Cam Jones could play point guard as he was the successor at the point guard position for Marquette this past year when Tyler Kolek had gone into the NBA, but he's more of a combo guard with point guard like skills. So Monte Morris is TJ McConnell's and Andrew Nembhard's backup, and adding Monte Morris pushes the Pacers closer to the roster max, as they're now technically at 16 and 3 two-ways. So my opinion, that probably means somebody's going to get traded, or Tony Bradley and James Wiseman. Probably Tony Bradley and James Wiseman, being on partially/non-guaranteed deals, are duking it out for that third center spot. Maybe somebody else gets moved. But Monte Morris fills a glaring need, a reliable third guard to provide depth with Tyrese Haliburton sidelined for the season. Morris has carved out a reputation as one of the steadiest backup point guards in the league, rarely turning the ball over and keeping second units organized. And I think he is somebody that, if you're a fan of the Pacers, he's someone that's coming off a year where he shot with the Pistons and the Timberwolves. He had shot 42% with the Timberwolves. With the Pistons, he had shot 18%. And then he had played this past season with the Suns, as he, ever since leaving the Denver Nuggets in 2022, he played with the Wizards, then went to the Pistons, then with the Timberwolves. And this year, he had spent it with the Phoenix Suns, appearing 45 games, 13 minutes a night, 42.6% from the field, 36% from 3, 5 points, just under 2 assists and 2 rebounds a night. And Rick Carlisle is a coach who has a system that thrives on quick decision-making, spread pick and rolls, and shooters around the arc. Monte Morris isn't a high-volume creator like Tyrese Haliburton, but he's efficient and can run the offense without mistakes and spaces the floor well enough to play alongside combo guards, wings, forwards. Expect him to run high ball screens with Mr. Isaiah Jackson, James Wiseman, Tony Bradley, Pascal Siakam, and company. Keep the offense moving in flow sets that rely on rapid ball reversals. Work well in staggered lineups next to Bennedict Mathurin or Andrew Nembhard, where Morris takes on a more of a stabilizer role. With Haliburton out, the point guard depth reshuffles. Andrew Nembhard is the projected starter, as he was someone who showed that his role, especially on the offensive side, could expand, as we saw in the playoffs. TJ McConnell will be the first guard off the bench, where the spot starter of Carlisle wants to keep Nembhard with the second unit. And then Monte Morris will be a guy who will run the third unit, and Morris's presence ensures Indiana isn't overexposed if Nembhard struggles with the full-time starter load. He's going to be on this roster outright, and depending on matchups, Carlisle may even prefer Monte Morris to maybe start the second half or the fourth quarters to help close the games with steadiness. So to me, this is a low risk, high floor signing. Morris gives the Pacers a veteran guard to their depth chart and helps bridge the gap left by Haliburton. He's obviously not a one-to-one replacement, but Rick Carlisle's system, his ability to take care of the ball, knock down open threes, and keep the offense organized makes him a valuable insurance policy. To me, I think Monte Morris is somebody that this year is obviously older, but a low turnover point guard with playoff experience is what you'd like to see. It gives them veteran depth at the guard position, helps balance out the roster with a mix of veterans and young players. And there's no elite creator in terms of a offensive orchestrator. With Haliburton gone, the expectation is Nembhard and McConnell will be able to shoulder that. And the scoring burden shifts heavily to Siakam, Nembhard, and Mathurin. The guard depth beyond Nembhard, McConnell, and Morris is non-existent. So this is why they did it. And I think Rick Carlisle thrives with steady floor generals. Without Haliburton, Carlisle will likely lean on McConnell and Morris for the second unit control. And whenever they need Morris, I think he's going to be someone that they can rely. And their system's just going to be emphasizing pace, quick decisions, and balanced touches across the lineup rather than a heliocentric creation. So the Pacers added Morris on a one-year deal, keeping long-term flexibility, 13 guaranteed contracts with Wiseman and Bradley, basically having partially or non-guaranteed deals, which means they're probably duking it out in training camp, and the other one might get traded or cut. And they're below the luxury tax line, it seems. So below the aprons, and I think that's something that they wanted to do. So with Morris entering his 9th NBA season with a reputation for mistake-free basketball, averaging 3.5 assists to just 1 turnover for his career, he fits seamlessly into Rick Carlisle's system. Obviously not a volume shooter. His floor spacing and control make him an ideal safety valve for a Pacers team that needs a reserve guard. And without Haliburton, Indiana's ceiling shifts from a playoff contender to play-in hopeful. Morrison, Nembhard, and McConnell are going to be the point guards on this roster. And Siakam, Mathurin, Mr. Aaron Nesmith, Obi Toppin are all going to hopefully be able to carry heavier scoring loads. And the success will hinge on whether the guards and the wings can generate enough offense by committee. So I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts. Comment, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on Monte Morris joining the Pacers? Can he keep the Indiana's offense stable if McConnell or Nembhard were to miss a bunch of time, as they're going to be out with no Haliburton for most of the year?